Hello and welcome. My name is Brett Wilhoit, and I'd like to welcome you to my Axon Research project, and that is for the American College of Education, Research 5153. The topic of my presentation today is going to take a look at and see, is blended learning more effective than traditional teaching methods? So I had a little bit of an introduction about my school where I teach at. I'm a high school teacher, business education at Crystal Lake Central High School. Moderately large school, about 1,500 kids. We're in year 3 of a one-to-one Chromebook initiative, which helps bring a lot of technology in and has started to kind of make us move towards considering a blended learning project. As well, we've got a pilot program of 11 teachers and that are in this pilot program for a blended format. Currently, we use what's called the flex model, where students can get released from class certain days if they meet certain academic requirements. So currently, they have a C or higher in the class, and if they do, they have to go to the library. If they're not going to the classroom, they can't just like leave early, come in late, or go to like lunch or anything else too. They have to kind of go to the library. So the purpose of this presentation and Action Research project is to see, to determine if blended learning is, first off, more effective than traditional teaching. So as we're making this transition, is it worthwhile? Is it more effective? And then also, there's a variety of blended learning models out there. And then this flex model that we went with to see if this is the most effective compared to others. So currently, that gets into our problem statement, which blended learning model is the most effective. There's been a lot of research and there's a lot of different models out there. It's a little overwhelming for high schools to think about when you're looking at some research. Some have just lower grades, or colleges, or any number of other things as well. And then that's why we also want to take a look at what blended learning model is most effective for high school level classes. And then also in particular for business education classes too, considering I'm a business education teacher too. Some classes might be a more natural fit for blended, some classes might not be. So we want to see if that is the good fit for business education classes too. So getting into my research questions, basically want to take a look at and see which teaching method is most effective, blended or traditional. That was one of the first main questions to try to ask. And then a variety of ways that we conducted those polling and got our data. Also, we took a look at and see which model of blended learning is most effective for my school. And then being just a high school district only. And then which classes can blended learning be applied to as well. So getting into some of the literature review and talks about the fact that what's nice with blended learning is it has got the increased the presence of active learning strategies, expanding the number of peer-to-peer activities and the use of learner-centered strategies. That was a huge kind of key for me as well too. Some other kind of quotes that stand out as well too. There's a wide variety of variations in these conceptions of blended learning. So that's kind of sometimes a problem. There can be like 5 hierarchical categories identified, and that can be sometimes tough for teachers to kind of go through too. So find out what's the best and for a high school kind of level class and program too. Finally, though, take a look at some positive aspects of some of the lit review. For the schools engaged in blended learning, 2 most significant benefits reported were accessing better content beyond standard textbook sources, and for creating time to personalize student instruction. I think that's kind of some key elements about the benefits of blended learning over that. So that's what the literature says, and getting into some of our methodology and our design of our research project. So we kind of did a mixed methods case study evaluation design. A couple different types of data we collected. Some of the qualitative data was by staff surveys. They were given much more open-ended questions and be able to have a chance to kind of voice their full thoughts and opinions on the matter on an online kind of discussion forum that I created for this research project. We also have 2 sets of different quantitative data. One of those is going to be student surveys, and then as well as lesson plan analysis that I collected from both blended and traditional kind of teachers too. So getting into it, one of the first things I did was, since I'm one of the pilot teachers in the blended learning program, I was able to kind of survey my students, and so I was able to get 28 students and their experiences, and have them compare this blended class to some of the traditional classes they've had in their previous school and career. Like I said before, I also did put teachers into a focus group. I created an online platform for the students, or for the teachers, in the blended learning pilot program, using Canvas as well, and gave them various prompts for them to kind of answer, and that allowed them to kind of have and voice their full thoughts as well. I also collected lesson plans from both blended and teaching traditional teachers. And I checked for the amount of Wicker strategies. That stands for writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading skills. It's a big part of what's called the AVID program, or Achievement via Individual Determination, which is a program that's been going strong in our school for a couple years now. And as a result, there's been kind of an emphasis from the administration to kind of make sure we have a variety of Wicker strategies in there. That was included to try and check and make sure, looking for the effectiveness of lessons, comparing traditional and blended. So some of the data analysis, students had overwhelmingly positive comments about the blended learning classes. They greatly appreciated the freedom that blended learning offered, as well as kind of hopefully learn how to manage their time well. Something that will hopefully be a key skill for them in the future, either college or whatnot as well. Teachers and the folks group also did like it because they like the fact that when those students that have a C or higher can be flexed out, that allows them to kind of work more closely with the students who are struggling, who are in the D and F range. So there's a lot more one-on-one time, much smaller group, to really make sure those students are kind of getting the material down before moving on as well. The one downside, though, was that the lesson plan analysis did not go as well as I hoped for, because of the fact that I got a wide variety of what was loosely considered lesson plans. Some were very detailed. Some followed the Danielson model. Some were just little bits of scrap paper and Post-it notes and bullet points. And so it was really hard to kind of sort through and analyze the data on that as well. So, and the future action plan, hoping to see this blended learning pilot program be expanded beyond just 11 teachers. Hopefully also being able to expand it onto our sister schools in our district. We're a high school only district, and we have 3 other high schools in our district, 2 other high schools in our town, and 1 other neighboring town as well. And hopefully there's what I'd like to see as well is that this is from the beginning of the semester. And when the semester ends in December, we like to kind of get some full final data from and look at being able to compare traditional and blended classes that are together. Out of all the classes we have, 3 of them are being run simultaneously, both traditional and blended. So some teachers are part of that program, some are not. So as a result, we can kind of see how that kind of goes. We'd also like to kind of hopefully include more technophobic teachers. One possible kind of, when I was looking back at the data, most of the teachers in the pilot program are pretty tech heavy, pretty tech savvy teachers, which maybe skewed some of their emphasis on blended learning as well too. So some potential evaluation for data sources. Hopefully I'd like to explore more high school related reports on blended learning. Hopefully that will come out in the data as well soon too. And then see how well the flex model approach to blended learning kind of works compared to other models as well too. Currently we're only using the flex model, so we don't really have much to compare it to for others too. We can hopefully maybe also in the future expand it into other types of blended learning models besides the flex approach too. So some of my conclusions, both teachers and students had a very positive comments about the whole blended learning pilot program. My administration is also eager to learn some results from my action research project because I've been kind of keeping them in the loop, and they like to see the data as well to hopefully maybe confirm some of their initial thoughts on how the program would work. And then I've learned a whole lot. This research project has been a lot of work, but it's been incredibly rewarding as well too. So I'm glad that I kind of was able to get through this detailed kind of research project, and I hope to continue to do this type of research in the near future. So I'd like to lastly end with some of my references for future reference as well too. Thank you very much.